It's time to do the big Porky midweek blast. Well, it's Wednesday today, so we'll call it that, eh? We'll make a new name up. The midweek blast. The midweek hammer. Who are we going to blast though? Who do you want me to blast? Judging by all your emails, it's got to be Eduardo. And then it's got to be old fish eyes Frank. Because they're there to be shot at, aren't they? And we've got to give Robert Smith some stick, haven't we, from Boxing Border Control, because he's as corrupt as you're going to get, isn't he? He's corrupt as you're going to get. Now, we're looking at some, I've been told I can't say anything just yet, but I've got some, as I say, I've got a few things on Robert Smith that he's broke with Boxing Border Control rules with certain fights that were put on, and they shouldn't have been put on for certain belts. Now, why do people get knocked back for certain belts to fight on a show and other promoters don't? Now, I've picked 4 instances. The few people in boxing I've spoke to, they know all about it, and we're going to reveal them fights. Now, Robert Smith's answer to this is, well, we know, don't we? We know what his game is, don't we, Robert Smith? He's going to keep them two happy, innit? Old Fish Eyes and Silver Spoon Boy Hearn. And it's going to be to fuck with everybody else, innit? That's what you're up against, innit? That's what you're up against. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. I've just come up to my kids' mum's. I took my kids in for night. When I'm off out, somebody give me a bottle of this today. Lacoste. Reckon I'll pull if I put this on. Nice new shirt on tonight from Churchill's Tailors of Doncaster, 50-year anniversary. Ali at Churchill's, how are you doing, Ali? I know you're watching. You're going to give me a free shirt again, Ali, to go with my new aftershave Lacoste. If it's good enough for David Beckham, it's good enough for me, innit? Only joking. I think that I want to talk about boxing media outlets and what are their jobs. Well, let's look at the big boxing media writers in Britain. The one that seemed to be making a lot of noise. Now, I have a lot of time for Jeff Powell, because when I applied to Cabinet Office in London to recommend Carl Froch for an MBE in 2012 in May, Jeff Powell were one of them that backed me amongst other people amongst the boxing fraternity. So I quite like Jeff Powell, and he is pretty fair-minded, but I want to know why none of these boxing bigwigs, Jeff Powell, Gareth Davis and Ron Lewis, I call them the Three Musketeers because they seem to have been around years. I want to know why they're not asking certain promoters certain questions. For example, why is everybody giving Tyson Fury a pass on this fight he's got coming up with a cruiserweight who's just fought a guy with 24 losses? So you fight a guy with 24 losses at cruiserweight, then you fight Tyson Fury, who's a super heavyweight. Not a heavyweight, he's a super heavyweight. He also happens to be the lineal champion of the world. So somebody must have sat around a desk and put this name forward, and other people must have said, yeah, that's a good fight, yeah, that's a good fight, yeah, that's a good fight. So who put the name forward? Were it Andy Ayling? Were it Francis Warren? Were it George Warren? Who seconded it? Were it Frank Warren? Were it BT Sport? Were it Richard, is it Richard, what's he called? The head of, not Richard Maynard. Whoever it is, the head of BT Sport, they've all seconded it and gone, yeah, they've gone, that's a good fight, and then somebody's gone, yeah, it's a bit like British Leyland, isn't it, in the early 70s, when they designed an Austin Allegro with a square steering wheel. Remember it? It was square, wasn't it? They've all sat around a table and they've gone, I've got an idea. Let's have a square steering wheel for new Austin Allegro. The Van den Pla model in brown. We'll paint it brown and put a square steering wheel. My mate Dougie Watson had one. And everybody's gone, yeah, square. That's a great idea, that, square. Well, that's the same thing's happened with Tyson Fury's fight. Tyson had to saying it. The powers that be have sat round a big board meeting, or probably Frank Warren's desk eating KFC, and they've said, I know, Serifi, or whatever it's called, an Albanian bus driver, although they're now saying coach driver, and he's a cruiserweight. His record's 23-1, and he's never been stopped. So all they're going to sell this fight on now is the fact that he's never been stopped. And guess what? Tyson Fury stopped him after about 5 rounds. And everybody then goes to the cameras at the edge of the ring apron and they say, well, I could have stopped him earlier, but I needed the rounds. What a load of baba. Baba, that's what it is. Cow shit. So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They must think Joe Public's... Fucking hell. They must think Joe Public's stupid. That's what they must think. It's a crap fight. It's embarrassing. It's no wonder they've had his name on posters, Return of the Mac, or the Mac is back. But no opponent. Come on. Hey? I'm hearing voices that, of people that are saying it's going to be Shannon Briggs or Bermain Stavern next. Fuck it. Because Briggs is a dangerous fighter over 1 round. Oh my God, he's 48, isn't he? I bet he's 48, him. He's as old as me. Or 46, 47. I just had a massage today, right, off this sports massage woman. She's 60-year-old. She does Dearne Valley Leisure Centre in Dennerby and Holiday Inn at Wormsworth. I'll tell you what, it was the best £20 I've ever spent in my life. I feel like a new man. I feel like I want to rip shit up, Snoop Doggy Dogg style. I'm telling you, I could have been a runner bean. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But now, that fight's crap and I'm not going to it. I'm not even going to watch it. The good news is, according to Frank Warren, old fish eyes, is it's not going to be pay-per-view, fans. It's not going to be pay-per-view. I should hope it isn't. The brass neck on him. Get me some brasso for Frank's neck. Oh my God. But not good, is it? I don't think it's good. Anyway, I've not got my phone on me. It's I've left my phone at home. But what we're going to say is, I've got a spare battery for the camera here. So we can have a good old natter today, can't we? I'll get it out of my sister, because nutters like me talk to the end, don't they? What we're going to say is, we're going to go through some questions that the boxing media should be asking them. That's the first question. They should be asking Frank Warren, why Tyson's fighting a guy like that? Tyson's way too good for him. He'll either school him over 10 rounds or he'll bash him up for 5 rounds. He will bash him up. I don't believe all that Tyson can't punch. I've seen him spar loads of times. He can whack with the best of them. But he's got one of them styles that's not designed for that. It's designed to... When you're online and you're just about to set your feet, he moves and he takes you offline, so you've got to plant your feet again then. By the time you've done that with Tyson, he's jabbed you 2 or 3 times. That's why you'll beat Joshua, if he's fit. But I want to talk about the questions that they should ask Eddie Hearn. We know about the stubble one, don't we? Because I'm a firm believer in kicking off over that stubble. But I've been kicking off of it for ages, the stubble situation. And look at that, how good these seats are in this Merc. Unbelievable, you get what you pay for, don't you? Look at that. What we're going to say is, StubHub I've kicked off over that long enough, and it all seems to be swept under the carpet, but they're still involved, aren't they, Stubub? Now, have you noticed how they're trying to push Joshua in America now? You've been offered 50 million to fight Wilder in America. Fight him. I don't want to hear about Big Baby Miller. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about Povetkin, he's 40-year-old. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about Povetkin, age 40. Takam was 37. Pulev was 38, wasn't he? Vladimir 41. Matt Skelton were 40 odd. I don't want to hear about Joshua fighting old men. I don't want to hear about it. I want to see him in with Wilder, a guy in his peak. 40-0, 39 KO. He's iced 39 men, so good chances are he's going to land on Joshua. If he can land on Luis Ortiz, he's going to land on Joshua. But they don't want it. They don't want it, do they? They don't want the fight. It's nothing short of scandalous what's going on. Scandalous. But I don't want to see Povetkin. Don't give me any of that mandatory crap. If he fights Povetkin, it means that they're not bothered about being the undisputed champion. The Ring Magazine belt is up for grabs. He's not going to get that Ring Magazine belt. Not going to get it. Unless he goes near Wilder. And he's not going to get Wilder unless they accept that 50 million. He's asked for 50 million. Right. Joshua wants 50 million. Yeah, we've got you 50 million. Oh, we need to check contract now. Well, they've sent everything, so why aren't you taking it? They're now saying we're fighting England. Terry Chappendama's right on New Age Podfather. And Martin and Andy, shout out to them boys. They call it spot on. They don't want to fight him, do they? They don't want to fight Wilder. So what we're going to be left with now? We're going to be left with all these casual gimps. That's all they are, gimps. They want to go to a boxing event, and they're not bothered if it's Stan Ogden from Coronation Street fighting Anthony Joshua, who's got a glass jaw. Glass jaw. They're not going to want that glass jaw testing, are they? He didn't want an exchange with Parker. He kept him at range with his reach, didn't he? His biggest fraud in boxing. Robert McCracken, they're saying it's all down to Robert McCracken. He's going to have a big input in it. Robert McCracken's a trainer. He's a trainer, right? A British level fighter, but he's a trainer. Why would it be down to him? Joshua's self-managed. Why would it be down to McCracken? He's a trainer. Eddie Hearn's his promoter. Eddie Hearn and his dad are pulling all strings. No matter what Joshua or McCracken say, they're going to put obstacles in way to what suits them. They don't go to America because they're frightened that Joshua, it might just not have the support Ricky Hatton had. Out of all these 70-odd thousand that he gets to go to these shows, how many are really are hardcore boxing fans? How many are willing to get on that aeroplane and go abroad? Now Eddie Hearn will have done a study on this because that's what they do, Matchroom. I personally know Eddie Hearn, I know how he works. They're going to do a study. And I don't think they're that confident about taking him abroad. That's just my opinion. Otherwise they'd have took him. Now when Dennis Hobson, who I work with, when he took Ricky Hatton to America, he broke Vegas with him. He broke America with Hatton. They took him over. He had 4 fights with Ricky. 1 in Sheffield, 3 in America. Let me tell you this. They rolled the dice, didn't they? Dennis likes a bet and he likes a gamble in life. They rolled the dice. Now, they don't want to roll it with Joshua because they're frightened. They've got a good thing going. They Matchroom play it safe. That's why Eddie and his dad don't have a mortgage on their house. They play things safe. Accountant by name, accountant by nature. Now, they're not going to risk fucking up a good thing, are they? It's good business sense, isn't it? But what are they going to do? Fight in England? Now, Joshua's fighting twice a year. They could fight 10 times for the next 5 years and all his peak years are gone. Now he's 29 in the next few months, Joshua. They could take him up to 34 fighting in England. He could quite easily have Miller in England. Pulev, they already sold that one out before, so they'll do that again. Dillian White rematch. Bryant Jennings. They might even get another rematch out of the Miller one. They might even drag Vladimir back out of an old age pensioner's house. Well, we'll dig Vladimir up. They might even dig Ken Norton up. I know he's brown bread, but Eddie might go and buy a grafter from a B&Q and dig him up. Who knows? They might even fight Gary Cornish again. They're capable of anything, aren't they? He's fighting 2 times a year. I'm sure you could pick 10 fights out of that top 10. Oscar Rivers, I've heard his name mentioned today. What is he, about 18-0 or something, 20-0? They could do anything. They're capable of anything. They could fight Parker again. They could have 10 fights over 5 years and swerve Wilder and swerve Tyson Fury. And would Tyson Fury be bothered? Getting money he's going to be getting, fighting bums. He might as well just have a half-hearted training camp. He's won everything, hasn't he? British, Commonwealth, European, Irish, World, Ring Magazine. He's got every belt there is to get, except the WBC. So he's got every belt. So why would Tyson be bothered about winning world title again and ring belt? He's got every belt and he's won them all. That's just how I feel about it. I just think that I think Eddie Hearn's he's just taking a piss on fans, and nobody seems to be speaking out, do they, except me. And I get into trouble all the time for this. Me and Dennis are probably going to end up falling out forever from some of my videos, but who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Nobody's going to change me. And to think, I could have been working with a well-known promoter in Kent. Who wants to move to Kent though? But it is what it is, isn't it? Boxing's it's a funny sport where it's a business, isn't it? I have this conversation with Peter Fury this morning. It's a business, Russ, isn't it? I understand that, but I don't want to hear fighters. People say, oh, you're hating Russell all the time, you're hating. No, I'm not hating. I don't want to see Tyson Fury saying, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. Then fighting a journeyman cruiserweight. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see cock at school. When I fought our cock at juniors at school, I'm not going to go slap a swat at front at classroom, am I? If I'm cock at junior school, I'm not going to do that, am I? Right. What credit are you going to get? What credit is local hardman in village in Edlington going to get from whacking at somebody who can't fight? You're not going to get no credit, are you? Go downtown and fight with them boys. And it's the same with Joshua. They're not fighting the fights that they should be fighting. It's the people around them, the people looking after their own. They've all got hidden agendas, haven't they? When you haven't got an hidden agenda, you can say your bit, can't you? It just pisses me off. I want to see people asking about StubHub. I want to know why Eddie Hearn put the pay-per-view up £3 for Hey Bellew rematch, because it was 17 quid, wasn't it, last year? This year it was 20 quid. But yet the 14, 15 month older. And it was a crapper fight. So how's it worth £3 more? Now they're saying 800,000 roughly bought that fight. 800,000 times £3, that's 2.4 million. Spread across Hay, Bellew, Hearn, Sky. They all had a good do out of that, haven't they? What's that, an extra 600 grand each? An undercard were dog shit, wasn't it? Utter dog shit. You know them big curly ones where you walk down the street someday and you see a grass virgin and you'll go, hey, look at that, it's yellow and curly. It's like a big yellow curly one, isn't it? You know where your dog's been eating your vindaloo at home. You know where you passed out on the settee and dogs at your chinky or your vindaloo. It's disgusting what they're doing, man. And nobody's doing anything about it whatsoever. I had some questions that I'd asked on Twitter today, and I left my phone at home. I'm not driving back for it. But what we're going to say is they need to be asking them sort of questions. Why are you not taking Wilder fight? You've been offered 50 million, what you asked for. Now you're saying, well, do you know what? I think we're entitled to fight in England. Who's speaking for Joshua? Joshua strikes me as somebody who's pretty stand on. He's done a video, well, I'll fight Wilder 50 million. They've got you your $50 million. Now, oh well, we think we've earned the right to fight in England. How have you? How have you earned the right to fight in England? Joshua's got 4 belts. 2 of them belts were vacant. And 2 were off paper champs, which means they didn't win them off the champ, they picked them out the bin. So all 4 belts are not really worth a meg, are they? Like Bellew, he's got British, Commonwealth, European and World, vacant. Don't mean jack to me, they don't mean jack. Joshua's got 2 out of his 4, and 2 were off paper champs. So that's just about as biggest fraud as you're going to get. I'm a realist. Call it hating, call it what you want. I don't give a fuck. My inbox, I must have blocked fucking 5,000 people in the last 3 months on Twitter. I had 18,000, I'm down to about 13,000 followers. If you don't like what I say, I'll just block you. I don't give a shit. I'm sick of shit off yous. Be real, be your own people. I'm sick of these gimps that go on Twitter and they tweet, oh, that show was crap, Frank Warren, and then they'll tweet in, but Eddie Hearn would do it a lot better. They're just gagging for a retweet of Eddie Hearn, you fucking gimps. Gimps. Get out more. You've got about 8 followers. They're probably Matchroom troll accounts. They need to be kept an eye on, because they get paid in tickets off Eddie Hearn. Do you know what I mean? I used to say nice things about Eddie years ago on Twitter, and they can't do enough for you, can they? They like it, don't they? But then he didn't like it when you're critical. You've got to be real, be your own people. I'm 48-year-old in October, and do you know what? I'm not going to be here another 30 years, am I? If I see another 25 year, I'll be very, very, very happy. Very happy. You've got to make most of it. So why be a fucking gimp? Why be a gimp fuck like all these on Twitter? Fucking putting the tongues up people's arseholes. 10 mile up people's arsehole. Be your own man. Be your own people. Say what's right, man. Fucking hell. Be real, man. John Fury used to say, didn't he, be real? People should be real. Don't be arse licking these. They're having you off. Be real. What's something else I want to talk about? It's and she's coming to me now. The middleweight situation. Oh, hang on. I'll finish off on the heavyweight situation. Right, you've got Joshua's got all belts, and the only one he ain't got's Wilder's. They're not going to fight, right? So who's Wilder fighting? Who's he fighting? Luis Ortiz? No. Fighting Brazil. It's a good fight, that. Eddie's going to say that Joshua fighting in 5 fights. So yeah, but Brazil were a novice then, wasn't he? Brazil's more seasoned now. It'll be a good fight, that, for Wilder. Now, Eddie can say Brazil's shot and this and that. He's more seasoned, Eddie. There's an answer for everything. We're like politicians, aren't we? That's a good fight. And do you know what? Brazil could beat Wilder. But I just think it'd be a beatdown. But, you know, on his day he can beat anybody. Brazil is a good fighter. He can dig deep. Now, Dillian White's got to fight Ortiz. He's going to do his best not to go near Ortiz. And he's 40-year-old in a few weeks, isn't he, Ortiz? And Dillian White don't want that fight. Kicking and screaming, big bad Dillian White. Big bad Dillian White. Well, why don't you fight Ortiz then? Why have you put an appeal in to WBC to fight Wilder straight away and not fight Ortiz? Why have you done that, Dillian? Why? Why are you saying you bash Ortiz? Oh, fight him. Go fight him. Because if Ortiz beats you, you're good at bottom of pile for 2 years, don't you, Dillian? Dillian will fight Kubrat Pulev and then fight Joshua. Or he'll hang on and hang on and hang on and try and get bumped up. He wants that Joshua money at Wembley. He ain't bothered about belts. Do me a fucking favour. Belts don't mean shit at this level. It's all about the dough. You can't look at belts in retirement, can you? They don't mean shit. Nah. Rest of them, Huey will be at Mix on June 4th. Huey will be at Mix for IBF rankings, I think, and WBA. maybe WBC. Huey's ranked 14th now and he's just won British, so he'll be getting bumped up. There's a couple up there that are booked up, there's a couple that are injured, there's a couple that are retiring. So Huey could be an eliminator for WBC soon. Let's hope he is. Which brings me to middleweights. Nobody wants to fight Golovkin, do they? Billy Joe Saunders has been world champion for a year. All I'm hearing him calling out is Golovkin. Well, why don't you fight him, Bill? Go fight him. I don't want to hear chat, Bill. I want to see some fights. Go fight him. Stop chatting shit, Bill, about fighting Golovkin and go fight him, mate. Go and fight him. They offered you a fight, Billy. You had 9.5 weeks left to get training camp sorted. What did you do? Oh, you got injured. Oh, I got injured yesterday. Calling Golovkin out, you've had that whatever he were called him, you fought in that leisure centre in Paisley and everybody said you got beat. I thought you won by a round. You fought him, you fought Willie Monroe. Lemieux would have been battered off Golovkin. Now you're fighting Martin Murray, who's shot to bits. He had 5 world title fights. Or is this his 5th? He's shot to bits as super middle. Boiled down to middle. And that'll take you for... That'll what? That'll probably take you to a fight at Christmas now, Billy. And if you don't get Golovkin then, we're looking at this time next year, aren't we? So you're never going to fight Golovkin. Golovkin's another year old then. What is he then? 37? How much longer is this going to go on, Bill? How much longer is this going to go on? Are you waiting until Golovkin gets to be about 40, Bill? Is that what you're doing? Waiting until he's about 40? Because he's just getting a bit pathetic, this Golovkin-Saunders fight, innit, Bill? Bill's 10 years younger than him, but he needs to start fighting him, in my opinion. So that's the middleweights covered. Super middles, John Ryder. I like John Ryder, he's a down-to-earth kid. He's been checked poorly by Matchroom. Really, really poorly. And I hope that John Ryder gets his title shot, he deserves it. I don't think Christopher Eubank deserves to fight Callum Smith in that tournament. But Callum Smith's not beat a former world champion yet. And when he fights Eubank, he's still not fought a former world champion. When is Callum Smith going to fight somebody? That's what I want to know. I think Callum Smith and his trainer are manipulating, his trainer-manager, are manipulating the system on that WBS tournament so they don't have to fight George Groves, because trust me, after that performance against that kickboxer, George Groves is an hard fight for Callum. And if he beats Eubank, he's still not going to be a world champion because he's got a diamond belt. So it's a fucking mess, isn't it? It's a good idea from Callis Howland, but nobody can even stick to the format, can they? Even promoters are wanting to make George Groves fight injured or don't fight at all. I mean, how much messing about is there going to be? Fucking stinks, doesn't it? Linares against Lomachenko were a great fight. Now that makes me proud to be involved in boxing and be a hardcore fan as well. When the best fight the best. I thought that were a great fight. So full credit to the people behind that Golden Boy and the Bob father, Bob Arum. I think that were great. Why don't we have fights like that all the time? It's a fantastic fight, man. Why don't we have, why couldn't Sky get that fight? Hey? Why couldn't Adam Classy Operator Smith at Sky, Adam Classy Operator Smith, why couldn't that Sky get that fight? Why did it have to go on Cox Nation? Which brings me to subscription channel Eddie Earn, DAZN, Dazone. What a liar you are, Eddie Earn. $1 billion? It's not $1 billion though, is it, Eddie? That's if that's predicted or projected earnings. It's all ifs and buts. Ifs and buts. It's just bullshit to get people to fucking sign for you, Eddie. Full of shit. Fucking dig 'em up. Just changed battery. So yeah, full of shit. So Eddie Hearn's saying he's going to get $1 billion from this deal, from DAZN or whatever they're called. $1 billion, right? On strength for what? That's your estimate that people will join your subscription channel. Now, if you remember, Frank Warren said he was going to get about 80 million quid, didn't he? Well, it didn't work out, did it? When he started Box Nation, he's just hyping it. Tell the truth, Eddie. If you get $1 billion from that, you'll be getting 39 times the money per show. 39 times per show. But Eddie can get away with these lies, can't he? Because they all think he's a magic man, because he's managed to get 80,000 sellouts at Wembley, hasn't he? So people think he's capable of it. Personally, I don't think anybody will want to work with him in America, all main promoters, and I don't think they'll do it. But I hope they do, because it'll have a knock-on effect, won't it? But who knows, he might get our fighter Liam Cameron a decent fight, because good God, he needs one, doesn't he? Jesus, he does that. He needs one. He's due one, isn't he? I mean, Nicky Genman for a first defence. Come on, we can do better than that, can't we, Dennis? But what can you do when Danny Butler pulled out? There's not a lot you can do, is there, really? Not a lot you can do, but things happen behind the scenes, don't they? And people don't agree to everything, do they? But Liam Cameron needs a good fight. I want to see him fight Mark Efron. I want to see Liam Cameron against Mark Efron, but it remains to be seen, doesn't it? It's up to Dennis and Chris, isn't it? Liam's trainer. But that's the fight I want to see, and I think it's a good fight. But can Mark Efron do 160? Well, he did 159 overnight, didn't he? So Mark Efron can make the weight, he can punch. So we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. But the middleweights in England at the moment is hotting up. I want to see Liam against Jason Welburn for British and Commonwealth. So let's hope that Welburn's people and our lot are going to sort it out this week. If not, I don't know. I just want what's best for Liam. He's a nice kid. He can punch. He's heavy-handed. I want to see him do well. I want to see Dennis be proud of him. I want to see them all get a few quid out of the job. Well, I mean, Liam shouldn't be sat up there, should he? Skin talk time, a champion, decorated amateur. I just want to see him get on. But it's an hard business, isn't it? When you're dealing with cunts all the time behind the scenes, and I mean utter fucking cunts. That's what they are, pieces of shit. 90% of them behind the scenes are pieces of fucking shit. They can't even keep a fucking appointments. Jesus Christ. How they go on in the proper... How would they go on working down fucking pit? Eh? Well, you're on 6-2 down pit, you've got to be there, aren't you, at 5:15. How are they going to go on at that? How are they going to go on? How are they going to get in lift on time? They can't even turn up for lunch meetings. I mean, fuck's sake. I'm glad O'Hara Davis won at week, and I quite like him now. Now I've met him, decent kid. I had a chat with him in Leeds overnight, he's alright, him. We're all no Eddie Hearn, and then we're telling him what to say on Twitter and stuff like that. Fucking hell, man. They're obsessed by social media. Thought I were bad. But a couple of people have asked stuff on Twitter, and some people, if you want to get in touch with me, I know you, a couple of people said they know me, just email me. It's not Porky's Corner, and it's not capital letters, it's just Porky Corner, P-O-R-K-Y, Corner, @mail.com. Just email me your questions, and if I think they're good questions, I'll ask the question out, or I'll talk about it on these videos that I do. But it was nice to go up to my school friends' showroom overnight. You know, he's a good kid. Did my front door. It's alright. We had a bit of a good chat. He's not a big boxing man though. They all think it's bent. Boxing's got this bad reputation, hasn't it, of mismatches. But It's not, Ben. They're just shit fights, aren't they? They're not all Lomachenko Linares, are they? They're not all fights like that, which is a shame, innit, really? But they're not, are they? They're not all fights like that. But it's one of them things, isn't it? It's one of them things. It's just boxing, isn't it? It's just, it is what it is, isn't it? But I just want to see good fights. I want to see pensions for boxers. That's what I want to see, pensions. I want to see boxers, when they get out of the game, when they're 36, get a bit of money. You know, put a bit of money into something and get it when you leave. I want to see the board take 50% of all boxers' purses. And they give it when they're 36. So if you're 24 and you pack in, it don't matter, you'll get it when you're 36. Do you know what I mean? A majority of them will fight on. So if you're paying half of what you're earning, even journeymen, a journeyman will fight, right, 10 times a year. If a journeyman fights 10 times a year, he's on 25 grand. But he'll have a proper job as well, so why don't you put half of that money into a pension? I put all this forward to the board. Because I'm good at juggling money, I'm very good with figures and stuff like that. Why don't the board listen? Why don't they listen? They're not bothered, are they? They're too busy saying, oh Russ, make sure it's a gin and tonic, but make sure it's green lemon or lime. I said, well, what's fucking difference? Oh, I prefer the green one, that's lime, innit? But a bit of lemon with a slice, gin and tonic with a slice of lemon, lemon or lime, does it fucking matter? Why does it have to be the green one, the lime one? Who gives a fuck? We're too busy thinking about that instead of thinking about helping boxers. Now I know Barry McGuigan told me years ago he were all for bringing stuff like that, because he was, wasn't he like the spokesman, you know, like spokesman for boxers and stuff like that. He were doing that sort of job, and he did a good job. But I don't think they got it off at ground, the pensions and stuff like that for boxers. I know he did some good things, Barry, but I don't think they ever did the pension one, or even like a savings plan on that. But could they be trusted with money that lot? Fucking hell, could they chuff? They couldn't be trusted, could they? I don't think they could be. Nah, it's an old boys club, isn't it? It's an old boys club. You know what I mean? Oops. Fucking knocked camera over now. That should do it. Yeah, so. But yeah, the cruiserweight tournament though at the moment, that's quite good, isn't it? The Ersk and Gassiev. I'm looking forward to seeing Ersk and Gassiev. I think that's I think Ersk and Gassiev, I think that's a good fight. Nobody can say that Ersk and Gassiev ain't a great fight, can they? Nobody can say that, can they? I just think it's a great fight. And I think it's what boxing's all about, isn't it? Good fights like that. See if I can get a better picture on this. I'm not bad for 47.5, am I? Nearly 48. I'm not bad. 49 next year. Fucking hell, I remember when I was 9. I had a Casio watch. I used to get good hidings every night when I come home from school off my old fella. Yeah, not all the time. I had a good upbringing actually. My parents were really good. We had everything, me and my brother. But now I think that's a good tournament now. I want to see Groves against Callum Smith. I don't want to see Callum Smith against Eubank, because Eubank's been knocked out, hasn't it? If Eubank beats Callum Smith, what does that say about the tournament? It says that Eubank got to fight in every round and win the $5 million jackpot. But yeah, he got beat in the semi-finals. So how could he be the winner of the Muhammad Ali trophy? He couldn't, could he? Because Groves beat him, didn't he? So how have they allowed themselves to do that? In my opinion, they put a tournament on, hoping and praying that they weren't going to get injuries, and every fighter saying, oh, I'll definitely not get injured, I won't get injured. Well, George is injured, isn't he? Or is George making a meal of it because he didn't want to fight Callum Smith? Because George is not short of a few quid, is he? I don't know what to make of it. With boxing, you just don't trust anybody. They all tell fucking massive lies, don't they? And don't tell the truth. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to make of it all. But we're on here 11 minutes. 30 and 11. We're on 41 minutes. So it's two good videos for you to piece together here, Rico. There was something I wanted to talk about. I forgot where it were now. I saw a video last night, right? I was up till about 4 in the morning watching a video what O'Hara Davis did, and it was called Don't Blame the Trainer. Now, I'm not an O'Hara Davis fanboy, but I spent a bit of time with him on Friday, and the kid's a decent kid. I think he's pretty misunderstood. And I think the reason he does these videos is to come across, to show everybody what he's really like. And so I ended up watching a couple of his videos actually, and do you know what? I think he's a pretty honest kid. I know he's had a tough upbringing in that, and obviously he was serving up on that when he was in London and that. I mean, most people have done that, haven't they? It's not to brag about that, but sometimes you just got to survive, haven't you? And I think that O'Hara, he comes across as alright in that video. I agree with him, really. There's too many people blame the trainer, don't they? You can't keep blaming the trainer, because when you get beat, when you win, you don't blame the trainer, do you? But when you get beat, there's too many people blame the trainer. When they get beat, they're like, how can I explain it? When they get beat, they look for somebody to blame. At first you're angry, then you're upset, then you look for somebody to blame. And more often than not, it's the trainer, innit, that cops it in here. But it ain't always his fault. I can understand the situation with Ted Bammy and Isaac Chamberlain. I can understand that one, because anybody who rips anybody off with money in boxing is a piece of shit in my eyes. That's why I try and stay out of money situation. I don't want to get involved in it, because there's already too much paranoia around boxing, isn't there? We are fucking me misspoken with money and stuff like that. And like I said, I got involved in boxing not for money, it's because I love the sport. I really, really love the sport that much. I can feel it. I feel it for him. I left Dennis's house one morning and I was driving through Ridgemay Moor, it's right nice up there, and I saw Tommy Frank running 5:45 in the morning, 5:45, headphones on, running, and I thought, go on Tommy. And I had about 20 seconds talking to him when I pulled up. And you have to admire people who are willing to do that, don't you? And the rest of Dennis's fighters weren't running about that morning, because I had a little trot about Sheffield. Liam Cameron were probably in bed, sleeping it off. Sheedy were probably in bed with Ellen. Nah, I'm only joking. It's an hard sport, boxing. It's a hard sport. And people need to realise that. But I love boxing, and it's just an hobby to me, this. It's just something I do in my spare time, in between doing what I do in the day. And I just relax and unwind on Twitter now, and wind a few people up, because people bite, don't they? I put a tweet out yesterday, and I put Kugan Cassius. I saw Kugan Cassius at Hilton International Hotel at Leeds. He's seen me and Dennis sat with this particular person we were sat with, and he'd never come over, and I thought, yeah, they have plenty to say, don't they, but they don't come and pull you, do they? So I put a tweet out, only as a bit of banter, and I put, why don't you do small old shows no more? He goes, oh, we do. I put, why are you always talking about money in tweets? Because we're complaining about something. Look on my timeline on Twitter, and he put something out, and I replied, and he put, we do small old shows. Yeah, he sends them young kids who do IFL, don't they? But him and James don't, do they? They don't do the small alls. Nah, this is how I look at it, right? Yeah, he's saying he didn't get no money for 4 years, innit? Coogan, why are you lying? Eddie Hearn were paying you £500 a week. Right, when you started out, you were giving you 500 quid a week. So don't say you didn't get no money for 4 years. They were putting you in hotels and paying you 500 a week. When you did Dennis's shows, they were paying you £500 a show and they're putting you in an hotel, feeding you and watering you. So what are you going on about that you weren't getting no? You're getting more than all these other lot get. Because you're what first ones to do it. Don't make out you weren't getting note. You were getting put in hotels. I was talking to someone from Matcham a few years ago and you were running up pizza bills on room service, Coogan. So don't be giving us this bullshit that you were destitute and you weren't getting no. Fucking hell. You were driving a Range Rover when you first got in boxing. So you weren't skint, were you? Do you know what I mean? You started it out as an hobby, but you wanted to make money out of it. Grow some balls and stop making it about money. Jeez, everybody makes it about money, don't they? And all these little fucking gimps who've been tweeting me. I had about 80 fucking people fucking commenting on it or liking it. I just fucking block them all. All fucking gimps. All little fucking, all from Colchester, Chelmsford and Hornchurch. I checked on all the profiles. All little fucking Essex boy fucking gimps. Do you know what I mean? Fucking rimmers. Get a grip of yourself. Be your own people and have a fucking opinion. Jesus. Sending me utter shite. Fuck's sake, man. Be yourself. Be honest like me. He's alright, him. But, you know, boxing, sometimes it shoots itself in the foot, doesn't it? You've got people who daren't say a word. They daren't say a word. I fell out with somebody today who works at a promotional company, which I won't say, but he rung me up and he goes, oh, that were a bit strong, wasn't it, last night on Twitter? And I said, why were it? It's fucking truth, innit? Yeah, but, you know, I might want to work with him down the line. I goes, well, I don't wanna. Do you know what I mean? Be your own man. Be your own man, mate. Don't be a rimmer for them fuckers. They don't give a shit about you. But Josh Warrington. I didn't enjoy that Josh Warrington fight. He was like holding and grappling and roughhousing and butting. Load of shit. The guy was cut to fuck from 2-3 rounds in. No, I didn't enjoy it. Thought he was a load of crap. The card was shit. Frank, your card was shit. Old fish eyes Frank, he was crap. I didn't enjoy it. But you know, I just have to be honest, don't I? But maybe that fight saved the show because he won the belt and he was fighting in his own town. But if Eddie Hearn had put that show on, he'd have got hammered. He would have got hammered. It were poor as oak, Frank. I keep hearing about Frampton against Warrington. Do you think for 1 minute, right? Do you think for 1 minute that Frank Warren is going to put Frampton in with Warrington? Is he fuck? He's going to have a stronghold in Belfast and a stronghold in Leeds. They're not going to fight. Do me a favour. Yeah, in about 3 years when they're shot to pieces, or when Frampton's shot to pieces at that weight, because when they get to their early 30s in that weight, 30, 33, they're all shot to death, aren't they? They'll probably get a trilogy out of it then, or 2 fights, but they're not going to fight at the moment while Warrington's in his peak and Frampton's at top coming down. He's not come down that far, has he? You know what I mean? He's just beat Donito Donaire. Frampton's beat the most world champions. He's got the most wins over world champions out of anybody in Britain at the moment who's active. Now Carl Frampton's beat 7 world champions, or he's got 7 wins over them because he beat Martinez twice. David Hayes got 6. They're the most active wins over world champions. Bellew's got 3, Joshua's got 3 wins. Tyson Fury and Billy Joe have got 2 each. All the Smith brothers have got none. Now, Terry Flanagan, I've been told, has got 1, but yet he could be a double world champion in the next couple of weeks. Now, that's today's set of fighters. That's what you're up against. Marvin Hagler had 7, didn't he? Wins over world champions. So did Ray Leonard. Froch and Calzaghe and Amir Khan have got 10. Lennox has got 14. So it's a different era, isn't it? Today's era of boxers, nobody fights anybody, do they? Liam Smith's a former world champion, but he's never beat a world champion. Joseph Parker's a former world champion, but he's never beat a world champion. Do you see where I'm coming from? Terry Flanagan, he's an undefeated guy, 33-0, former lightweight world champion, when he's beat 1 world champion. So that's what you're up against. People can have padded records and get belts. Nathan Cleverly's beat 2 world champions, Bramer and Tony Bellew. And he's a 2-time light heavyweight champion. All them belts, all them fights he had, all them world title fights, and yet he hardly really beat anybody, has he? Because people want to keep him apart and earn money. They get mileage out of it. Do you know what I mean? But the Linares fights renewed my faith in boxing at the moment, because other than that, I think if that fight went on at weekend, I think I'd have walked away from doing these videos. I was that pissed off last week. I'm still pissed off now about a few things in boxing. I really am. I just think it's a flawed business, and I think I'm wasting my time. I don't think boxing's moving forward. I think the same people are making money all the time. Eddie Hearn's making millions. Frank Warren's making a bit, and if he loses, he just goes under, doesn't he? He's been under 5 times, and he 4 or 5 times. He don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a shit, do they? You know, anybody would think they were dealing drugs or cigarettes, wouldn't they, importing cigs, because it's that sort of mentality, innit? I'm alright, Jack. People don't give a fuck. No fucks are given. It's just my opinion. But it's one of them things, isn't it? It's one of them things. Which brings me to Jamie McDonnell's fight this weekend. Now everybody knows that I don't big Jamie McDonnell up on here, but he can fight. Now me and Dennis will be watching the fight in Japan. We're not going to Japan like to watch it, but it's a good fight. It's his hardest fight, I think, so far. Jamie's got 4 wins over world champions, or former world champions, or current world champions, or future world champions. 4. So he's beat 4. Chris Eubank Senior had 4 wins over world champions. So Jamie McDonnell, he's been undefeated over 10 years. He's got a great record, and he gets the job done. Now I hope he wins. I'm going to have a bet on him. I know he left Dennis and they fell out, but I hope he wins, because he's from Doncaster and I don't want that guy to win. I'm not going to say out racist about them sort of people, but I don't want him to win. I hope he gets beat. I hope he gets his arse kicked, that Japanese guy. I hope he gets beat, but I think it's a tough fight in Japan. I think if it goes to points, which I think it will, I think Jamie might get jobbed. He's not going to get no decisions over there. Rendell Monroe didn't get no favours over there, didn't he? And I don't think Jamie will get any favours either. But, you know, it's one of them things, isn't it? So, but anyway. So, alright. So, we're on 23 minutes, other one's 30. So, there's a 53-minute video there for you. There's no libelous in it. Shout out to Brad Bovum at Mickey Athletics Gym. He's a good kid. Shout out to Josh Whale, he's just had a baby. Well done, Josh Whale, on little Jacob. And Grandad Mick Whale. Got grandkids all over the place, Mick. I bet Mick Whale's Easter egg bill's big, innit? Have to come and see me, Mick. I always get a cheap pallet off my mate. Come and see me when you want your Easter eggs next Easter, Mick. I'll sort you out. I'll have to post Josh Whale a card with some money in it for his little baby tomorrow. But yeah, it's it's nice for boxing people to have some good news, isn't it? Because Josh Whale's had a crap few months anyway. His injury and that must be crap. British champion, you're going for a belt outright. You're going to beat the record, quickest British title outright, and then you get injured. But let's hope that he's back in new season with a bang, gets his belt outright, and goes on to bigger and better things because he's a nice kid. They've got a good gym going down there, and good people. They make you welcome. I didn't get a cuppa last time off you, Mick. Know you're watching. I'm coffee, 1 sugar, Mick, or half a spoon if I'm on a diet. It was like a hobnob in it, Mick, or a Kit Kat. I don't want it. When I went to Carl Froch's house, I said, "Do you want a cuppa, Porky?" I goes, "Yeah." I goes, "What's that?" He goes, "Green tea." Got this big massive posh house, he's got green tea, and I think he wanted to get rid of me after 20 minutes because he kept saying, "Ain't you drunk that yet, Porky?" I goes, "No, it's red hot." He goes, "Oh, gives it here, I'll put some water in it for you." I thought, oh, that's an hint to fuck off, that. So I went into the other room at house and we started talking to his missus. I didn't want to go on. I'm only joking, Carl. I know you're not watching, but your Lee is. But that is alright, Carl. I never got a biscuit at Carl Froch's though. Do you know what he give me? A Bakewell tart, fitness bar. I like that. Have you ever had one of them? They're pretty bland, aren't they? But they may be welcome. I had to take my shoes off though, it were right posh. But now, so Mick Whale, I need a Kit Kat and a cuppa when the next time I come. No green tea though. Normal tea. If you've got a normal tea, Mick, I'll have that. I like honey in it though. So, anyway, I'm going to order some Cantonese. So, have a look. All the best. Thanks for having me. And keep on trucking. It's been a pleasure. I've pulled this forward now. I always pull it back because it's sun. You know what I mean? Take fucking handbrake off, eh? Right then. Thanks for having me. You take care. Keep on trucking. All the best. Shout out to K Official, Paul and Ems. Top people. Cheers for hoodies and t-shirts. Bye.